What if that nagging guilt you feel about exercise, the struggle, the feeling you're never quite doing enough, what if that's actually a fundamental misunderstanding? A misunderstanding of our own biology.
Exactly. It's a provocative thought, isn't it?
It really is. Welcome, everyone, to a deep dive into Daniel Lieberman's, I think, really insightful book, Exercised. We're not just looking at what you should do.
No, not at all. It's much deeper. It's about why our bodies are wired the way they are.
Right, and why modern life creates this huge disconnect with our natural activity patterns. So our mission today is to unpack some of these myths around physical activity.
And hopefully alleviate some of that misplaced guilt.
Yeah, and reframe our whole relationship with movement using that crucial evolutionary and anthropological context Lieberman provides.
That's such important context.
And for this deep dive, you are experiencing a unique two-voice analysis powered by Google's NotebookLM. It's designed to bring you deeper, more dynamic insights from the material.
A really interesting way to explore the book.
Definitely. Now, speaking of the author, Daniel Lieberman, he's a Harvard professor, human evolutionary biology. His credibility is, it's rock solid.
Oh, absolutely. He's known for rigorous science, but he makes it so accessible.
He really does. He brings this extensive background in evolution right into the middle of these, mainstream health debates.
And the timing for this book, it couldn't be more critical, really. We're seeing these rising concerns everywhere about sedentary lifestyles.
It's everywhere.
The way fitness has become a commodity and just this overwhelming flood of conflicting health advice. It's confusing.
No, it's totally confusing. And you see the results, right? Rising obesity, diabetes, chronic diseases.
It really highlights the urgency, I think.
Yeah.
The book's challenge to these pervasive myths about exercise, especially in industrialized societies, feels very needed right now.
So if our bodies are wired differently, what's the core problem? What's this disconnect Lieberman keeps talking about?
Well, he argues it's this urgent mismatch, a mismatch between how our physiology actually evolved over millennia and the realities of our modern, very sedentary lives.
Right. I mean, think about it. Who hasn't felt that guilt skipping a workout or felt totally lost with all the conflicting fitness advice out there?
Exactly. And Lieberman says that feeling, that shame and confusion, it's not really a personal failing.
Okay, that's key.
It's a direct result of our Stone Age bodies trying to navigate a concrete jungle. It's this profound evolutionary mismatch.
That really is the crux of it, isn't it?
It is. And he's very clear he's not here to shame anyone for being inactive. His goal is really to systematically debunk those common myths.
So less blame, more understanding.
Precisely. He wants to shift the blame away from, personal character flaws and towards understanding our biology. The hope is that makes physical activity more sustainable, maybe even enjoyable as part of modern life.
That makes sense. Informing people and alleviating that misplaced guilt so many of us seem to carry around.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who is he trying to reach with this? Is it just for scientists?
Oh, no, not at all. It's actually for a really broad, educated readership. So health professionals, yes, but also policymakers, teachers.
Just regular people feeling frustrated.
Exactly. Anyone who feels frustrated or confused by all the exercise dogma out there, he sort of assumes the reader brings curiosity, maybe some skepticism, and is probably aware of their own struggles or mixed feelings about exercise.
It sounds quite liberating, actually.
I think it's a good word for it. What's really liberating is how he debunks these myths. He uses evolutionary logic.
Okay, tell me more about that. Evolutionary logic.
Well, the profound insight, the big one is this. Your body never evolved to exercise in the way we think of it now.
Yeah.
Structured workouts, going to the gym for the sake of health itself.
Right. Not exercise for health, but activity as needed.
Exactly. It was designed for purposeful movement driven by survival needs, finding food, water, shelter, escaping danger.
So that feeling of resistance many of us have towards, say, the gym.
It isn't just you being lazy. It's not a character flaw. It's kind of an echo of our evolutionary wiring, which is fundamentally about conserving energy unless movement is necessary or rewarding.
That's fascinating. And what I found really compelling, maybe even surprising, is how he backs this up. He doesn't just state theories.
No, he weaves it all together. Anthropology, like you mentioned earlier, the data from foraging societies like the Hadza in Tanzania.
Right. The Hadza examples were powerful.
And he combines that with rigorous clinical research. He shows you the evidence.
Can you give an example? Like with the Hadza?
Sure. He shows how Hadza foragers maintain really high levels of daily physical activity, but not through scheduled workouts.
It's just part of life.
It's necessary movement. Walking long distances for food, digging for tubers, maybe building shelters. It's activity for survival, not explicitly for health in our modern sense.
That contrast is stark.
It is. And connecting this to the bigger picture, he masterfully organizes his arguments to really highlight that stark contrast between our biological evolution and our industrialized society.
He explains why we struggle then.
Yes, exactly why modern humans often struggle to sustain voluntary physical activity, even though we know it has health benefits. It's not a personal failing, it's kind of a setup.
A setup? How so?
Well, our ancestors had to move to survive. We often choose to move for health reasons, and that choice often goes against our deeply ingrained instincts to conserve energy whenever possible.
And he brings some humor into it too, doesn't he? I remember some witty analogies.
Definitely. He uses these brilliant analogies that really stick, like describing the treadmill.
Oh, yeah, the treadmill.
As a metaphor for, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, paying money to suffer through needless physical activity on an annoying machine that gets us nowhere and accomplishes nothing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that perfectly captures the, as he puts it, peculiarities of present-day exercise habits. It really makes you stop and think how odd some of our modern fitness routines actually are from an evolutionary perspective.
It does. And alongside the wit, there's such an empathetic tone. He really seems to connect with the reader's anxieties.
How does he do that?
He uses this incredible emotional appeal, pathos, to sort of validate how we feel rather than blaming us. He wants you to feel seen, understood, not judged. It's really quite disarming.
I remember finding that really powerful. There's a quote or paraphrase of it, something like, if as you read these words, you are seated, maybe lounging, and feeling guilty about your indolence, take solace.
Take solace in knowing your current state is an ancient fundamental strategy.
Yes.
That part is so impactful.
It really cuts through that ingrained guilt we often carry, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. That's a key rhetorical move, isn't it? It reframes that anxiety, that reluctance, not as a personal character flaw, but as a product of our evolution.
Which then makes you ask.
Exactly. It raises this important question for all of us. How can we start to perceive our own bodies and habits through this new, less judgmental lens? It really pushes you to rethink that internal narrative about movement and rest.
And throughout all this, Lieberman really grounds it in science. He builds his credibility.
He foregrounds his scientific expertise constantly, referencing cross-cultural research, evolutionary biology. It's convincing because it's backed by solid science.
You trust what he's saying.
You do. And he also weaves in his own lived experience, which I think helps build that trust.
Like his marathon running.
Yeah, his marathon run, his anthropological fieldwork. Sharing that personal side deepens the connection, especially for readers who might feel insecure or skeptical about their own habits.
Right. He's frank about his own relationship with exercise.
Very frank. It makes it incredibly relatable. He's not some expert shouting down from an ivory tower. He's kind of right there in the trenches with you, figuring it out too.
Yeah, that really comes across. And, as we continue to unpack these fascinating layers, it just reminds me how valuable these kinds of insights are.
Definitely.
For those of you listening who want to explore even more AI-enhanced book analyses like this, check out our Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel. They're specifically designed to inspire reflection and rational thought.
A great resource for digging deeper.
Absolutely. So, given all these eye-opening insights about mismatch and evolution and guilt, how does Lieberman actually help us rethink our relationship with movement? What's the takeaway?
Well, he does it really effectively, I think. He reframes the reader's whole relationship with exercise.
Shifting it away from obligation.
Exactly, away from obligation and guilt and towards curiosity and self-understanding. He helps you see yourself in this much wider evolutionary context, and that's incredibly empowering, actually.
So it's not just information, it's a perspective shift.
Right. And the book's mix of solid science, that touch of humor we mentioned, and practical advice, it really hits both the informational and the emotional needs of the audience.
The myths get dispelled clearly.
Very clearly. But the message stays accessible without, dumbing down the science. It's a rare balance he strikes.
And I appreciated that he avoids those absolutist prescriptions, the do this, not that commands.
Oh, completely. That's so refreshing, isn't it? He acknowledges where the science is still uncertain, acknowledges individual variation.
And he specifically addresses readers with disabilities or those who really struggle with sustained activity.
Which makes his whole approach feel very ethically sensitive, very inclusive. He's not giving you a rigid one-size-fits-all plan.
It's more like a framework for understanding yourself.
Exactly, a framework for understanding yourself better within your own context.
So if we were to sum up the core themes, what would they be?
Okay, well, the big ones are, first, busting those pervasive myths we all tend to believe about exercise. Just clearing the air. Second, helping us realize just how peculiar our modern exercise environments and habits actually are compared to our evolutionary history.
Seeing the strangeness of it.
Yeah. Third, understanding the pivotal role that both culture and evolution play in shaping our health behaviors. It's not just individual choice.
Gotcha.
And finally, maybe the most important takeaway, the imperative to make movement rewarding, maybe socially integrated, rather than something that's moralized or, commodified and sold to us.
Making it feel natural again, perhaps.
Perhaps, yeah. Or at least less like a chore we feel guilty about skipping.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up, Daniel Lieberman, through really rigorous research and, importantly, empathetic communication, he essentially liberates us from exercise-related guilt.
Liberates is a good word.
He reframes our modern struggles, the difficulty, the inconsistency, not as personal failings, but as logical outcomes of these deep evolutionary mismatches.
It's a profound shift in perspective, truly.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? What if sustainable well-being isn't actually about pushing ourselves to suffer through workouts we hate?
Right. What if it's more about rediscovering some kind of joy or at least purpose in movement, perhaps in ways that align better with our natural evolved patterns?
Makes you think, doesn't it? For more insights like these, ones that challenge conventional wisdom and help you connect the dots, definitely check out Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel.
And explore more topics on our podcasts as well.
Yes. If you found this deep dive valuable, we'd love it if you'd subscribe. Maybe share this with someone who you think needs to hear this message.
Someone wrestling with that exercise guilt, perhaps.
Exactly. And consider purchasing the book using the link in our description. It supports the author and lets you delve even deeper into his ideas.
And most importantly,
keep thinking critically. Question the information that shapes your understanding of the world, especially when it comes to something as fundamental as your own body and health.